Hi friends, welcome back to another episode of Kayleigh Grows, and today I'm doing something, I guess like a little bit different. I thought this would be kind of like a chatty video. Honestly, I feel like you guys don't know me super well, so I have a lot of plants that I have to clean. So I have a list of like 30 questions to get to know me a little bit. They're pretty random. So I thought might as well do that while I'm cleaning some of my plants. So I have a mix of water, Dawn dish soap, neem oil, and dead bug brew all in this bottle. I have a cloth, and I'm just gonna wipe down all the leaves of some of these plants while I answer some of these questions. So it's 28 questions, so we'll see how this goes. We'll see if I get through all of them. But the first question is, what is your favorite store? I feel like I don't really have a favorite store per se. I really like to buy things secondhand, so usually I more go to thrift stores. But ever since I moved to Texas, I haven't really found a thrift store that I like. I live on like a very remote town by the beach, so like there's not a whole lot over here. So I could travel into the city a little bit more. That's like 45 minutes away, but a lot of places don't speak English and my Spanish is absolutely horrible. So I haven't really found a place. So I've been doing more of like OfferUp type of things, like online thrift stores. But even that, I've been trying to cut back on my spending. I don't make a ton of money, so I keep hoping that this will be a little good side hustle, but I'm happy just hanging out with you guys, even if it doesn't turn into that. But that is, I guess, my favorite store. OfferUp, thrift stores, that kind of thing. I like doing secondhand. It's better for the environment and it's better for my wallet. Ooh, what would be your last meal? So if it was my very last meal on Earth, that's a difficult one. Actually, I think my all-time favorite restaurant is in New Jersey. I grew up in New Jersey, and it's called Pub 199. They have like lobster and clams and stuff like that. I love seafood. And down south, so much of the seafood is fried, and I prefer like steamed seafood. I feel like you get a real taste for what you're eating. But that was just a restaurant that I grew up going to. It was like our special occasion restaurant. So honestly, if I were to have a very last meal, I think that would be it. I think I would go to New Jersey just to have Pub 199, lobster, and 2 dozen clams. With a beer on the side. Doesn't matter the beer, as long as it's not an IPA. Number 3 is, how did you meet your significant other? I do not have a significant other, so yeah. The last 2 boyfriends that I had have been very long relationships. Both of them, my first boyfriend I dated for 2.5 years, and I met him on, like through friends at like a party, and then the other one I matched with on Tinder. So yeah, that's how I met them. Currently single. If you know anybody who lives in South Texas you want to set me up with, let me know. What is the last New Year's resolution you made? I don't really believe in New Year's resolutions. In my family, we more do it around our birthdays. My grandmother growing up said that the 24 hours before and 24 hours after your birthday are the strongest. So that's when you should be like basically manifesting what you want the next year to look like. So all of my goals for 30 are all for the most part, financial. Cut down on spending that's unnecessary, get a side gig so I can make a little bit more money, pay rent on my own. My parents do help me, unfortunately, and that kind of thing. I want to be able to pay them back in some way, but that is my goal. So it's not exactly a New Year's resolution, but it is the next year resolution, if that makes sense. But yeah. What is an embarrassing story you can tell? Oh gosh, what is one? Oh gosh, how do I choose an embarrassing story? I am a very, like, klutzy person, so there's plenty of times that I've, like, dropped things. There's plenty of times that I've said the wrong thing. One thing that I can always think of that, like, I still look back and I'm like, ooh, it felt like a movie. I was in high school, I think, so this was a long time ago, but I saw the guy that I was crushing on at the movie theater, and I went to go say hi, and I tripped and spilled the popcorn everywhere. It felt like a rom-com, like literally popcorn in the air, up and over. That guy turned out to be, like, a little jerk. He's actually married to a girl who was, like, not very nice to me in high school, which is, like, absolutely hilarious. But yeah. Ooh, yeah, that was a rough one. I still look back on that moment and, like, I think of all the people that saw me, and not even just him, like, just everybody. Yeah, that was a rough one. That was a very embarrassing story. Okay, I'm gonna put these 2 plants back, grab another 2, and then I'll move on with the next question. Okay, so the next question is, what are your favorite phone apps? This is like looking real in. So my favorite phone apps, the ones that I use the most, are Instagram and TikTok, unfortunately. I don't really, let me look through my apps. Spotify, I love. I use Planta, the app, to keep track of my plants. It just kind of reminds me to check on the ones that I don't have to do care on as often, so like my cacti and stuff like that. Snake plant, those ones I use a lot. And then the rest of them are pretty much for work. So like I use Workforce for work, I use Google Drive for work, my camera app, all of those I use a ton. I use Snapchat a lot, like way more than I should. But I've had a couple of situations that were like a little sketchy when I was like through dating, so I don't like to give my number out, so I usually give my Snapchat to people until I trust them with my number. So yeah, those are my favorite apps, I guess. What is a cause that you are really passionate about? I have a lot of causes I'm passionate about. I don't know. I guess one that I really think I'm passionate about is that everybody deserves rights. So I think everybody should be equal, whether they are male, female, sexual orientation, race. I don't think people should be treated any different depending on what they look like. Since moving down here, I have been treated very differently than I had in the past, and that was really strange, like actually seeing it. Because I feel like I had always been treated equally other places, but because of my skin color and my height and my gender, I am treated a little bit differently down here, which is very strange. And it just kind of opened my eyes that I have been privileged that I hadn't ever had to see this. And I also see just how not nice people are to each other. And it's just been strange. I just don't understand why it matters. Like, a person is a person is a person. I'm gonna treat you the same as long as you treat me nicely. I'm gonna treat you nicely. So I've never really understood that. And that's just something that I really, really care about, is that everyone should be treated the same. Love is love. Doesn't matter how much money you make. You should be able to live and not be like taken advantage of or looked down upon, or that you can't do things because of anything, especially if it's something that you can't change about yourself. Like, if you're just a jerk, that's different. But if it's something that you can't change, that's messed up that you care about that for a person. What is the song that is always stuck in your head? Ooh, I always have different songs stuck in my head. Currently, the one that's been stuck in my head a lot is Sunflower by Post Malone. We have a turtle at work named Sunflower, and every time we pull him, we go, eh, 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 eh. So that one's been stuck in my head over and over again. That's just recently. I always have different songs stuck in my head. There's always something. There's never silence, ever. But, yeah. What are things you normally save on? What does that mean? Oh, okay, because the next question, I get it. Things that I normally save on is clothes, like treats, if that makes sense. So like any sweets, candy, alcohol, anything like that. I try not to spend a ton of money on, just for like special occasions. I try not to buy a ton of plants. But yeah. The next question though is, what do you splurge on? And the things that I splurge on are my animals. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I have a lot of pets. I have my dog, I have 3 turtles, and then I have 9 frogs. I think it's 9. It might be 10 if I can find the last frog. But yeah, I have a lot of animals. So that's something that I like don't even really look at the cost, is when I'm getting food for them, or if like something breaks on their tanks or whatever, I just have to buy it. Yeah. So I don't really know if that's splurging, but that's just something that I like don't really take money into account of, is whenever I need to get something for my animals. Like, I need to buy Night food pretty soon, who's my dog. He's laying right here. And once I'll just buy whatever he needs. Doesn't really matter the price, because I want to make sure that he's healthy and happy. But I'm ready for my next 2 plants, so I will be right back. Alright, next 2 questions, or next 2 plants, next question. What is your number 1 pet peeve? That is an easy one. People who chew with their mouth open. Whether it's gum, whether it's eating their like lunch or dinner or whatever, it drives me absolutely crazy. Especially when people like smack as they doing it. Drives me nuts. It like literally gives me, like, makes me angry. It makes me want to like fight. I can't do it. I can't do like mouth noises in general, and eating is even worse. It just drives me absolutely crazy. I can't do it. What is your favorite TV show? I don't know. I have a lot of favorite TV shows for different reasons. I kind of go through like binges, like most people do nowadays, on Netflix. So like currently I am binging Sex and the City. I love it because it's about like women in their 30s who are single, and like I love that because like same. So that's been feeling good. I also love How I Met Your Mother. And then Supernatural. Those are some that I like will binge regularly, and I love them. So yeah, those are some of the ones that I love. I'm actually gonna cut this off because it looks like crap. There we go. Oh no, I lost it. Okay. What is an unpopular opinion that you have? I don't know. I don't think I have any like crazy opinions on anything. A popular opinion or unpopular opinion that you have. I really don't know. I guess you guys are gonna look at me differently. I don't see like marriage as like a goal in life, you know, like that's not like something that I strive for. I think having a family is a goal, but actual like marriage is something that just happens along the way. So like I care more about my career than I do about having like a long-term partner. Which, I mean, I would love to have a long-term partner, but I do need them to be okay with following me for my career. My career, I move a lot. So I would need that. So I guess that's my unpopular opinion, is that I love my job. It is, my whole personality is my job. And yeah, I don't really care for marriage. I would love to have a long-term partner, but the actual like marriage part, I don't care much about. But I'm gonna get another 2 plants. What is the first thing you noticed about your significant other? That's funny. I don't have a significant other, so can't really answer that question, but I don't really want to skip it. So I guess what I'm going to say is the first thing I noticed about my best friend. My best friend's name is Noelle. She is also a marine biologist. She lives in Canada now, which is funny because I'm basically in Mexico, and she is up in Canada. We actually met in college, and I thought she was the most annoying person I had ever met in my entire life. I thought she was immature, and I just like every time my other friend at the time, who I'm not really friends with, whenever she was like, hey, Noelle's coming, I would be like, do I have to go? But then I moved to Tennessee, and Noelle and I actually worked together, and we were like, wow, we have a lot in common. Like, she grew up a lot, I grew up a lot, I was less judgmental, and yeah, so like the first thing I noticed about her was just her like strong personality. She's very loud, and I'm not. And that's the first thing that I've noticed about her. And I don't think that's a bad thing, to be loud, to take up space. I feel like that's actually something that I've learned from her, is that to be myself, to be loud, take up space, be myself. And I feel like I learned that from her, and that's the first thing I noticed about her. What is your favorite band? So I have 2 favorite bands for different reasons. My all-time favorite band is Fall Out Boy. I love them so much. I saw them in concert in Atlanta. Literally the best concert I've ever been to. Amazing, 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 amazing. They were the best. I would kill to see them again. But I also, like, my current favorite band of, like, a band that's a little bit more contemporary, is Sleep Token. Sleep Token is, like, a weird mix of, like, metal and R&B, kind of. I don't really know how to describe them. I highly recommend listening to them. For a little bit of a lighter song, you can listen to Caramel. or Chokehold or Granite. But my favorite is Take Me Back to Eden. So those are my favorite. I love music in general. I actually really wanted to get into music when I was younger, and then I found marine biology and I was like, yes. And I never looked back. So if you guys want to hear more about my like marine biology journey, I did make a video before moving to Texas. So that was in 2024, early 2024. If you want to watch that. It's all about my journey as a marine biologist, how I got where I am, and yeah. What would be your dream location to live? That's hard. So I used to live in Wilmington, North Carolina. That's my favorite place I've ever lived. I would move back there in an instant if I could have the job that I have now. But if I could have all my friends there, be that close to home, but live in Hawaii, game changer. I lived in Hawaii for a very short amount of time and it was amazing, and I would do it again in an instant. I would live there in like a second. I lived on the Big Island, but I think if I were to move back, I would want to live in Maui. Yeah, I love it. I just, oof. Tropical places. I'll just live all the tropical places. But I'm a little over halfway done, so I'm gonna switch out plants and I'll be back. Okay, next question. What is your favorite season? I think that's an easy guess. I'm a marine biologist. I love the summer. I love it. It's crazy because in Texas it's like 1,000 degrees in the summer, but I would still rather that than be cold. I can't do the cold. I literally get sick in the cold. It hurts my lungs, it hurts my chest, it hurts my throat. I can't do the cold. It makes me unhappy. I get so grumpy when I'm cold. All I do is sleep. I hate the cold. So summer. Summer, 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 summer. Plus I can do all my favorite things in the summer. I love to dive, I love to go in the water, I love to just be outside in general, so like, what's not to like? I love the summer. What TV show can you watch over and over? Well, I kind of said that already, but I would say How I Met Your Mother. That's one that I quote all the time, and I could watch it 1,000 times and not get bored. I just love every character in that show, and it just makes me so happy. I don't even think I have a favorite. I feel like I personally am a mix of Robin and Lily. Like I'm a mix between the two, because like I feel like I'm a lot like Robin, but I have like the loving ride or die nature of Lily. So I love them. Da, 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 da. What pizza topping do you hate? I don't like sausage on my pizzas. I actually don't even like meat on my pizza at all. I think that it's unnecessary. I think it takes over the whole taste of the pizza, so I'm not a pepperoni girl. I'm not, well, that just made me nervous. It's just soap. Yeah, I don't like, I like more veggies on my pizza than meat, so that's it. But these plants are already done. That didn't take me very long, so I'll be back. Okay, now I have 3, but they're small, so we'll see how long this takes. Next is, who is your style icon? Ooh, that's difficult. That's water. I would say, I don't know. I guess the first person who looked like I want to look is Avril Lavigne. I feel like I kind of have my own style in general. I don't really know what it's considered. I usually just call myself alternative. Other people say goth. I don't feel like I'm goth. I feel like that's like a really specific aesthetic, and that's not me. But yeah, I loved Avril Lavigne. I thought that she was just so cool. I'm not like a huge fan of the people that she surrounds herself with now. But whatever, I still think she looks amazing. I love the way she dresses. I would love to buy some of her clothes from her clothing line, but I can't afford them. But yeah, Avril Lavigne, I love her. I always have. What is your favorite type of book? Type of book? Usually I go for like some sort of romance. I like a lot of dark romances, but usually I'll go for some cheesy romance novel or a like crime thriller. Those are usually the two that I bounce between. What celebrity couple are you rooting for? I don't know much about celebrities, so I don't even really know of many couples. The only one that I can think of right now is Tom Holland and Zendaya. I don't even know if they're still together, so I'm sorry if they are not, but I'm not big on pop culture, so I guess I'll say them. I can't really think of any other celebrity couples currently. Does that make me a bad girl? What is your most used emoji? My most used emoji, I'm gonna put it on the screen, but like, it's like the little smiley face with like a little blush, like the tiny little smile, and it's just like, that one, because I feel like it looks like me when I smile. When I smile, my eyes like completely disappear, so that's the one I usually use, because I feel like it conveys how I look when I'm smiling. That one, or because I'm a millennial, the like laughing crying face. I also love the monkey emoji that like covers their eyes. Love that one. All good options. I use all of those all the time. What cheesy joke makes you laugh every single time? This one is gonna be rough. I apologize in advance because it's very cheesy. And I used to say it to the kids in my summer camps. But what do you call a fish with no eyes? A fish. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I apologize. What helps you relax? To relax, usually I'll just like turn on Netflix or YouTube of like something that I've seen before, turn off the lights, have like low lighting, and just chill. Sometimes I'll have a glass of wine, but that's not all the time. Yeah, I'm not good at relaxing, so I tend to just keep moving until I'm exhausted and need to go to sleep. So I don't think that's healthy, but that's what I do. I'm gonna have a second job soon, so that's gonna take up more of my time. I'm always at the gym, at the beach, something like that. So yeah, I think like turning down the lights, listening to music, and just being, I think is the best way to do it. Alright, I'm done with these 3 little ones. I have 3 more questions, so I will get a couple more plants and then answer those 3. Okay, for one of the last 3 questions I had to do research, so I'm back. But one of the questions, oh hello, I messed it up. Ah! It's gone, my questions are gone. Okay, I think I got it. What topic do you think shouldn't be taboo? I'm gonna say, like, how do I say this without it sounding like rude? Like sexual preferences, like LGBTQIA, like it shouldn't be taboo to like come out. Like I feel like you shouldn't even have to come out. It's just kind of something to be like, whether you are straight, gay, bi, whatever, like there's so many different things that people can be, and like love is love. And I don't understand why that's considered taboo to even like talk about. like the people who like will just completely write off their children if they come out as gay. Like I don't personally understand it. Like I know that it happens, but in my head I don't understand why. Like why people care who other people love. Like I don't understand that. So something that I don't think is taboo. But the next one is the one that I had to do research on, and what is your personality type on MBTI? And I did this one, and now I can't find my results. Where'd they go? I am INFP. So that is introversion, intuition, feeling, and perceiving. So that it says that I am sensitive, creative, idealistic, perceptive, caring, loyal, value inner harmony and personal growth, focus on dreams and possibilities, which I feel like is really true for me. I like pick a goal and I go for it, and I feel like I make most of my decisions off of like feeling rather than like weighing pros and cons and stuff. Yeah, I feel like I just kind of am like, that feels right, and then I move on and do that. Which I know is not like the best to do, but it's fine, right? Right? But then the last one is, what chore do you hate doing? And that is the dishes. I hate doing the dishes. I hate the feeling of wet food, soggy food. I hate it, but I also, one of my first jobs was working in the kitchen of a hospital. So ever since then, I just hate doing the dishes. I think it's because I see it as like more work rather than a chore. I just hate it. My ex-boyfriend and I had like a decision, like a agreement that I did all the laundry and he did all the dishes because we both hated both of them. Well, like I can do laundry easy. But I hate doing dishes, so that's one that I hate. But those are all my questions. I know this is a longer video. I still have more plants to clean, but I think that's not the most fun thing to watch, is me just like wipe down leaves. But if you guys like this video, give me a big thumbs up. If you like me, subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you, and I hope to see you guys again on the next one. Bye.